Morning, Year 6. I hope you're well and safe. I've got a little bit of a cold today, so I'm going to try not to sniffle the whole way through this video, but if I do sniffle a little bit, then do forgive me, please. So for today's lesson, we're going to be looking at reading timetables. And this is a really, really important skill, especially for you now, ready to go off to high school soon in September, all being well. So you're going to need to know how to read your school timetable. You're going to need to know how to read bus tables, timetables for some of you that will be getting the bus or the train. So this is a really, really important skill. So do make sure that you practice and practice and practice it so that you're really, really confident as you head off to secondary school next year. So next academic year. So let's get started. Today's date, if you can write that down, the learning intention, and I have made another mistake in our Roman numerals. Can you see what it is? Excellent. I've put 2020, I've put it as XXXX. Now, some of you might, because sometimes we say the date as 2020, don't we? We say the year is 2020, but really it's 2020. So we need to make sure we've written that correctly. So I'll correct my mistake. Make sure you've got the right Roman numerals date down. Don't be like me. So for today's lesson, you will need a pencil, squared paper or plain paper or lined paper, as we discussed yesterday, a 5-minute timer, and a positive attitude. So there's no, I can't do this, it's too hard, I'm no good at maths. I don't want to hear that. I know I won't hear it anyway, but you know what I mean. I want you to say, I can do this, it's possible, I can try my best. As long as I work hard, I can achieve anything I want. Have a positive attitude today. That's really, really important. So just as we did yesterday, we're going to go through our maths data. So I'd like you to just have a go at answering the questions shown on screen, and then pause the video here. This is where your 5-minute timer comes in handy again. So pause the video, give yourself 5 minutes. It was really nice yesterday. I had some lovely emails saying, actually, I didn't take 5 minutes. It took me 4 minutes to do that. And it took me this amount of time to do that. And some of you are just really challenging yourself. So that's nice if you can say to yourself, oh yeah, 4 minutes today, 3 minutes tomorrow, 2 minutes the day after. Say your own personal challenge. Anyway, enough of me talking. Excellent. So we're ready to go through the answers. Round 19.05 to the nearest tenth. So we know that the 10th column is the one directly after the decimal. So if we round up 0.05, that would be rounded up to make 1. So it should be 19.1. So 5 would be rounded up to 10. Calculation algebra. So what rule do you need to remember for this? Excellent. You need to remember the rules of BIDMAS. You need to remember the order of operations. So brackets, indices, division, none of that there. Multiplication, can we see that? Excellent. 4 times 5, that's what we need to do first. 4 times 5 is 20, and add 3, we get 23. Fractions. Use greater than or less than to complete this statement. So we've got 7/8, and we're comparing it to 3/4. Now, some of you might be able to look at this and work it out quite quickly, but for others, you might need to make sure that you've got the same denominator in order to be able to identify which is larger and which is smaller. So if we convert these to the set, so that the common denominator that they both share would be an 1/8. So let's convert our 3/4 to an 1/8 into 8ths. What do we need to do to the 4 to convert it into 8ths? We need to times it by 2. Excellent. So 4 times 2 makes it an 8. So now we need to, whatever we do to the bottom, we do the same to the top. So if we times the bottom by 2, we need to times the top by 2. That becomes 6/8, which is larger, 7/8 or 6/8? Excellent. It's 7/8. So make sure you've got your greater than symbol facing the right way. Problem solving. If the temperature is -6 degrees Celsius, but it increases by 17 degrees Celsius, what is the new temperature? Well, we know from -6 to 0, because the temperature's going up, from -6 to 0 is 6. Then we have 11 left. So now we're in the positives. From 0, we add our 11 and we get to 11 degrees Celsius. That's our answer. Reasoning. The number 215,602 is written as 201562. Is Ahmed correct? No, he's not. 215,602 should be written like this. So Ahmed has accidentally put a zero in the wrong place, and then he's messed up by putting, the 0 should be between the 6 and the 2 at the end. So well done if you managed to spot that. Hopefully Ahmed will get it right next time. So, quick recap. What times are shown on the clocks? Just going to give you 15 seconds. Excellent. Might have been less than 15 seconds. But what times are shown? So we've got, on the first clock, we've got the time 1:50, which can also be recorded as 10 to 2 or 10 minutes to 2. On the second clock, with the Roman numerals, we have the time as 10:10, or we might have it as 10 minutes past 10. We don't know if it's AM or PM with these times. We'd have to look outside. And with the last clock, the time is recorded as 7 o'clock. Okay, so that's quite an easy one. So hopefully you all got those right. By now you should be really confident with reading an analog clock. But if you're not, then that's something you need to keep practicing throughout the week. Okay, practice it constantly. And I've put a link on screen where you can continue to keep practicing it. There's a Chuckle Brothers version. I know you're probably all too young for Chuckle Brothers, but they're quite funny. So do have a look. It's a little challenge to test how confident you really are with time. Have a look at the clock shown on screen. What's missing? Excellent. It's the minute hand. So surely we cannot tell the time without the minute hand. Do you agree? No, of course we can. It's a little bit harder, but it's still possible. So have a look at the hour hand. If we look at A together, we know that the hour has just gone 8 because the hour hand is just past the 8. Now the hour hand moves throughout the hour. So if the hour hand is halfway between the 8 and the 9, then usually that means the minute hand would be on the 6 to show half past. So the hour hand does move. It doesn't just jump from 8 to 9, it moves in between. And even just looking at the hour hand, we can determine what time it is. So if we look at this one, we can see for the first one that A, it's around 8:30, maybe 8:25. Okay, because it's halfway between 8 and 9. So using that same method of thinking, I'd like you to have a look at B, C, and D and try to work out what times are shown on each of the clock faces. Okay. Let's move on to our focus for today, which is reading timetables. So if you have a look here, we've got a bus service timetable. So how many bus journeys do you think are shown on this timetable? Excellent. There are 2 journeys shown on this timetable. The first one is the bus journey from Lincoln to Bransbury Horses. And the second is from Bransbury Horses to Lincoln bus station. So if we have a look here, we can see that on this bus timetable, it tells us the times that the buses will arrive at each station, and it uses the 24-hour clock format. So you remember we did that yesterday. We can see that if we get on the bus at Lincoln bus station at 10:15, then that means that we will arrive at Saxilby High Street at 10:30 a.m. Okay, so if you have a look, I've put the arrow on the screen just to show you that the direction that the bus is going, the direction that we need to go in is going down. So if you were to get on the bus at Lincoln bus station and you wanted to know what time will I arrive at the other stations, you would look in the column going down. If you wanted to know which times the buses come at a certain station, then you would be looking across the line. So you'd be looking horizontally. Okay, so let's have a go at doing some questions together. If I was boarding the bus at Lincoln bus station and I needed to be at Bransbury Horses by 11:45, first of all, which timetable are we looking at? The top one or the bottom? Excellent. We're looking at the top timetable because that's the one where it's going from Lincoln to Bransbury Horses, whereas the bottom one, we're going from Bransbury Horses to Lincoln. If I wanted to know what time I need to be there, I need to be in Bransbury Horses by 11:45. So I need to look at what time the bus will arrive in Bransbury Horses. And I can see 11:45, it's this one here. So therefore, if I go back up the column to Lincoln bus station, it means I need to be on the 11:15 bus at Lincoln bus station. Now, I'm going to give you a moment to do this second one on your own. I'm boarding the bus at Sturton by Stowe, A1500. I'm going to Saxelby High Street by 2:30, so 14:30, 2:30 p.m. What time will I need to board the bus at Sturton by Stowe? You can pause the video here. Excellent. Which timetable are we looking at? Well, we're looking at the bottom one because that's the one where we're going from Sturton by Stowe to Saxelby High Street. We also know that if we need to be there by 14:30, there isn't actually any time in Saxelby High Street. There's no time that the bus arrives in Saxelby High Street at 14:30. So we're going to have to get there early. It's better to be early than late, right? So we'll need to make sure we get there by 1400 hours, which means we'll need to get on the bus at 13:45 at Bransbury Horses. Did you get that one? No, my apologies. We'll need to be on the bus by 13:50. Excellent. Well done. Next question. How long does it take to get from Lincoln bus station to Saxelby High Street? Super. So for this one, you need to make sure, if you need some more time, pause the video. But for this one, you need to make sure that you look at the bus stop, Lincoln bus station, then look at Saxelby High Street, and then try and work out the time difference between 10:15 and 10:30. Then see if it's the same all the way across, 11:15 to 11:30, 12:15 to 12:30. We can see it's consistently 15 minutes. And we can check with the bottom as well. From Lincoln bus station to Saxelby High Street, again, it seems to be 15, 15, 15. So it takes 15 minutes from Lincoln bus station to Saxelby High Street. Now we're going to have a look at some timetables which you'll need to become familiar with in secondary school. So here you can see the days of the week are shown on the left-hand side and the different lessons, the periods, are shown across the top. Break times are included in the columns in between. So let's say it's Monday and the time is shown on the clock. What time is it? Excellent. The time is 9:30 or 9:30. What lesson should I be in? Excellent. I should be in my maths lesson because my maths lesson started at 8:55. Although it doesn't tell me what time my lesson finishes, I can see that my next lesson starts at 9:45. So between 8:55 and 9:45, I should be in my maths lesson. Let's have a go at another one. It's Wednesday and the time is shown on the clock. What time is it? Excellent. It's 11:55. What lesson should I be in? It's Wednesday and it's 11:55. Excellent. So we should be in Design and Technology or D&T because that lesson runs from 11:45 to 12:25. Let's try another one. It's Friday and the time is 2:45 or 2:45. Now, what lesson was I in 3 hours earlier? So first of all, we need to work out what lesson I'm in now. Did you find it? Excellent. At 2:45, I'm in English. Where was I 3 hours earlier? So what's 3 hours earlier than 2:45? Let's count backwards. We don't count the 2:45, we go back to the hour before. 1:45, 12:45, 11:45. What lesson was I in at 11:45? Super, I was in science. Well done. Now, it's Tuesday and the time is? Excellent, 10:05. What lesson will I be in at the same time tomorrow? Excellent, I'll be in history. So, how well did you do? Did you find those easy or a little bit challenging? If you found them a bit tricky, maybe watch the video again and just try and practice them. Maybe pause the video a bit more, have a look at the timetable and just make sure you're really confident understanding what its purpose is and how to read it and interpret it. So what do you do next? No, you don't head off to sleep. You need to head on over to Purple Mash, log in, find the to-do entitled Clock Faces, and I've also added some other ones to do with reading timetables, which I know some of you might have done already, but having had a look at some of the scores, I think it was an area that some of us found a bit tricky, so I've repeated that task. You can also have a look on, so these are the tasks that you need to do that you've probably done already, some of you, a few of you have, but I want you to have a go doing it again. And then we have emailed the bus timetable problems. You can also find it in the blog on Purple Mash as well as on the Year 6 website. And that's some more work there for you to do on reading bus timetable problems. There are 3 different levels, so choose the level which is most appropriate for you, depending on how confident you feel. And if you really want to push yourself, then I challenge you to set us teachers a challenge, which is to find a timetable, a bus timetable or a train timetable online and create your own questions for us to answer. Okay, make sure you've got your answer sheet though, because otherwise you won't know if our answers are right or wrong. So create your own questions for us to answer and email it to us at yr6@grange.harrow.sch.uk. Have a great day, Year 6. Bye.